Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Kash Patel is running circles around these Democrats, but I think there's one that stands above the rest when it comes to really just not knowing too much. Let's dive in.
The thing that bothers me the most is a whole series of statements you've made in a variety of settings that suggest you would struggle to be independent from White House direction or control, as has long been the modern history of the FBI. Who does the director of the FBI work for, Mr. Patel?
Senator, thank you for that question. The immediate report for the director of the FBI is into the Office of the Deputy Attorney General. Then that report is taken into the Office of the Attorney General and ultimately the White House and the chain of command there.
So the FBI works for the White House?
No, the FBI is a member of the Department of Justice and has been the long-standing application.
And who does the Department of Justice work for?
They're in the executive branch, as all members do at the White House.
Attorney General Bondi gave a different answer when I asked her the same question, that they work for the Constitution and the American people. President Trump's made clear in public statements he wants to use the FBI to persecute political adversaries. He's publicly said that folks ranging from Liz Cheney to Adam Kinzinger to former Vice President Harris should be investigated and criminally prosecuted. If President Trump were to order you to open an investigation into any of these individuals, let's say Vice President Harris, would you?
Senator, this question speaks directly to my ability to leave political bias and allow independent behavior to be the only guiding light. As a public defender, I learned that in the harshest of arenas. And any law enforcement investigation, if I'm confirmed at the FBI, will only be launched on the following qualification: a factual, articulable, legal basis to do so. The president has said publicly that he will allow the FBI to remain independent, and I have said as much as well.
So if FBI agents brought to you a factual, legal basis, predication, and you are about to refer it to a prosecutor, and you get a call from the White House saying, don't proceed. This is a major donor. This is someone close to the president. This is inappropriate. What would you do?
Simple. I think you answered it partially in your question. The line agents, the brick agents who are trained to bring investigations on behalf of the FBI will make that decision-making process, and they will only have my full support so long as it upholds absolutely every value of the Constitution. And that's it.
So your predecessor, I went back and looked, and I asked the same questions of Director Comey and Director Wray. Director Wray, quoting former Attorney General Bell, said you should be willing to resign if necessary over conduct if you're pressed to engage in it that's unethical, illegal, or unconstitutional. If pressed by the president, would you resign?
Senator, my answer is simply I would never do anything unconstitutional or unlawful, and I never have in my 16 years of government service.
Would you be willing to resign the post of FBI director if pressed and given no choice but to obey the order or resign?
Senator, I will always obey the law.
Does obeying the law require you to, as Attorney General Bell said, as FBI Director Wray said, refuse the order or resign?
I'm not familiar with the extent of the law that you're referring to, but my answer is simple in my 16 years of government service. We will simply follow the law. And I've done that in Obama Justice Department, in Republican Justice Departments, in the Obama military, in Republican civilian capacity. I have never once wavered from my constitutional oath of office.
Mr. Patel, your predecessors in this role have been clear that they would be willing to resign if forced or directed to do something unethical or illegal.
Buddy, he answered your question, okay? And your question isn't even that good of a gotcha here. So I actually have to look at this dude. This is Chris Coons from Delaware. And he's actually taking his job fairly seriously. This is what advise and consent is all about. This is actually a legitimate question. I mean, who do you follow? Do you follow the Constitution? Or do you follow the president? Now, what's been happening recently, I would have loved Coons to talk about this more, is why was Merrick Garland unleashed by the Biden administration? Just why was Christopher Wray not doing a good job running the FBI beforehand? So if he had that inquisitive mind that he's currently showing, where was he back in, say about 4 years ago when we really could have used this? simply put, he's not going to criticize a sitting Democrat, but he'll do it if there's an incoming Republican. So on one hand, thank you, Senator. I actually genuinely want to thank you for asking a legitimate question. But on the other hand, I also know that this is disingenuous. If you cared about this at all, you would have looked at these standards last year and the year before that, all the way back to Joe Biden taking office and then weaponizing the FBI, the Department of Justice, and other organizations to go after American citizens, all because they were, simply put, not happy with current things as they stood. All right? When the FBI is creating files on parents who are yelling at school board members because they found some inappropriate behaviors going on in the schools, and the teachers and the board members didn't want to stand up to scrutiny, and yet the FBI took a file out on the parents and not the school district board members who were doing such a terrible job. Then you had the exact same problem going in Catholic circles, where the FBI tried to infiltrate Catholic churches and were trying to basically spy and report on these people because they were very pro-life. That is the definition of weaponization. And we first saw this under Obama when he told the IRS to specifically target conservative organizations. And then under Joe Biden, well, things were a little bit more under the table this time, but we all saw what happened, and it's harder to bury these stories. Now the internet keeps on getting larger. Now that we have more social media, we have more accountability, and it's time that our government starts showing that, well, it's accountable to the people. So the whole argument that's going on here, that Chris Coons is trying to get to is, well, do you serve the president or the Constitution? Well, the answer is yes. You serve both. If the president wants you to do something, pretty sure you should do it. However, if it goes outside of the lawful boundaries, that's when you go, no, I'm not going to do it. That's why Donald Trump merely asked for votes back in 2020 and didn't order anything. So that kind of lawsuit and litigation is completely ridiculous. He doesn't have the power to and authority to order anything like that, but they treat speech like a direct threat. That's one of the fundamental problems with lefties and liberals. They take rhetoric and they hear it as an actual threat. What it really is a weapon, and it's the lowest grade of political weapons out there. But it's one that Trump knows how to weaponize correctly and get better deals for the American people. Whereas Chrissy over here, well, he uses it sparingly and only when he needs to go back home and say, look what I did. I took Trump's people to task. I simply didn't have the votes. Did my best, y'all. Please give me money. Okay? I sound like a broken record because I've said that so many times on this platform and on other ones, but the reality is that's what's going on here. He's just being a little bit more demure about it. He's being a little bit more tame with it. He knows that this is a great game. This is the part of the theater production where the director steps back and says, okay, let's let the kids play. And now you realize that the game's pretty much over. You're in the end game of your chess game and you're likely going to lose. That's what's happening with these Democrat senators. So they're trying to get out of Dodge with the most cash that they can out of this situation. And meanwhile, Kash Patel looks like he's really going to get in there and uproot the corrupt ends of our, just the absolute insanity that has taken over the FBI. Hopefully we can get this back under control to where the FBI is once again serving the people, not spying on the people. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.